See if you have anything to say. Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is the Illumination Portal. Everybody knows Aley from Heart and Soul Connected.
Hi, Angela. It's good to see you.
Oh, Angela's here. She's so sweet.
She is.
We are going to be talking about how to cope during these times of chaos that just seem to keep on coming. and we're looking for ways to make sure everyone in our community or anyone who wants to see this video or get some help, give tips and ideas and what we can do to help ourselves get through. So,
yeah,
Aley, what do you think?
Well, there's so many different things. I know everybody's a little bit different, and so, what people choose to embrace, I guess, is something that's more personal to them than anything I could say. But I do believe that finding the time, it's really self-care. It's got to be self-care, because if we're not taking care of ourselves, then, we can't really cope. We can't cope. We can't cope with the outside. Not at all. So, hi, Kate. It's good to see you. Oh, she's got her new name up. Dream Detective Kate. Yay.
I know. I love that name for her.
I know. One of the best ways for me to cope is I love to write. I love to journal. So every day I journal. And some days I just write down stuff that's bothering me. If it is, I mean, I don't try to stay positive because it's only for me. It's not for anybody else. And when I'm really, really stressed, believe it or not, I love to color. I spend a lot of time coloring. Yeah.
That is so cool.
I have some beautiful gel pens. I like the ones that are really glittery. And I have some, I was also starting to color a tarot deck. And I got way, and it would take forever and ever and ever. So I put it away for a while and just decided that was almost too stressful to do. So that wasn't enough. It wasn't what I wanted to do.
I've been there. Oh my God. Yeah, because I do that a lot. I'll have certain things going and I'll put the project up because it is too stressful.
It is a project.
Only so much we can ingest in a day. Right. And we get all kinds of information coming at us. And on my channel, I'm always talking about, this is your vicinity. What's around you is your vicinity. And of course, we got to take care of our vicinity, care for ourselves. But the external world is always knocking on the door, kicking it down and wanting to come through and, no, you got to look over here, and
everything commands our attention. It really does. Yeah. It was like when we had little kids, mom, it's like, can I change my name, but, but now it's not that. Some days I wish it was.
Yeah. It kind of would be easier looking back.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's critical. The self-care is critical. Grounding yourself is critical. And
it is.
Aley and I are going to talk about where's your point of focus. Of course, when you get triggered or you get upset or something comes into your vicinity that is really kicking the air out of you, what do? You have to feel it. You have to go into.
Yeah, you do. Well, it actually, I've gotten better, Valerie, because I've always been one of those people that, and then I had, go 15 ways and then I end up getting myself really sick and I end up dealing with it later when everything has finally settled down. But it was this time that I noticed a huge shift in my way of dealing with my roof and all the news I got about the roof. And honestly, I can't say enough about it. It's like, what am I going to do? I don't know. And I've never been like that. Never. I blame, which is not blame, but I'm thankful for this community because I really think that really helped me. Well, I know it helped me with the GoFundMe, but I just mean centering, grounding, loving energies. It was just absolutely right. It was just the right thing. Yeah.
I can't I can't thank you enough, be honest with you, because what, over time we were watching you, Susan, Lynn, and
Mm-hmm.
all the ones that started, and then you would have us on your shows, and a lot of us started our shows because of your encouragement and caring, and we just got to the point where we could go to each other's channels and see a different
Mm-hmm.
perspective, even for a moment, to get
Yeah.
yourself in a different vibration.
Right.
Susan Lynn she's been on fire lately with her.
She's amazing. She always has been amazing, but it's like even more so now. And now I got Keith on my back all the time. Did you see the new video that
Really?
Susan Lynn did? Yes, he watches it all the time.
I'm that same way. I love her stuff because it's like and I think a lot of us in our community, we get those hits, we get those psychic knowings and intuitions, and it's so nice to hear one of our own, basically in the spiritual community, saying the same thing that you're hearing. So I get that from Susan Lynn. I get that from a lot of your guests and yourself and Angela, Kate. We all.
Oh, I know.
We have
Everybody's got a little bit of morsels of wisdom all over the YouTube. It's beautiful. It really is.
It is beautiful, and it's so calming. When you want to lose your mind, and believe me, I do. I get very angry, and I'll process through it. How I ever do, like you said, writing, or I like to research. I like to learn more. I like to look up why.
Well, I think that's the way it should be. That keeps you. It also helps your brain. It keeps you young. You're exercising that thing, and I like bringing in things to. I like bringing things together to make meaning, because that's what I do in my teaching. I have to share something because it just hit me right like a few seconds ago, actually. I was talking on the phone yesterday with Kate, and I was telling her that in this community, I have heard from many, many readers and many psychics, this was a long time ago, that there would be one single woman that would take him Trump down. One single woman. And we thought it was Letitia James, because she's the district attorney of New York. But I said to Kate yesterday, I think it's Cassidy Hutchinson. I think that's where it's going to start. And Kate made the really good observation that she represents woman, which we all need to be a part of with this Roe v. Wade decision, that the women need to rise up. The women need to work together. So there's this old story that was written in the 19th century, and it's called The Yellow Wallpaper. And it's about a woman who, and it really did happen to her, who she didn't know what was wrong with her, but it was actually postpartum depression, but who knew that then?
Right.
And she was put in this nursery and locked in, and they didn't let her go outside. They didn't let her talk to anybody, which is like the last thing you should do if you're having trauma. It was awful. But at the very end of it, she's gone completely bonkers, and she starts to climb around the room and pull the wallpaper down. And there are these blobs on the wall, like on the wallpaper, that look like heads. They look like Bubba's heads. And she said, it's not just me, it's all the women, because all the women were being repressed then for that.
Yes, they were, yeah.
And that just clicked with me, that it really represents how we have all been oppressed, and how we all have to work for each other, and we have to empower each other, and how important that is, especially for women. I'm not knocking any men, because we have a lot of support by a lot of men. We have some terrible men out there that aren't doing what they should be doing, but we have a lot of really good men as well.
Yes,
so
we do. And and those ones that are against women, it's such a small percentage, but yet they've taken, they've been pounding this for 20, 30 years to get back to the time you were just talking about, the 30s and 40s and 50s, when women were just treated like, anything you did, you were you could be put away, and your husband could put you away. Hi, Viviani.
Yes, yes.
And we're not going to go back there. And we have all these younger people who, you know, they're willing to give 75 different gender, I don't even know what you call it, names for the gender, not gender so much, but what's it called?
She, he, them, they.
Yeah,
That
all
thing?
the alternatives. But they are the most open-minded people, you know. So to even come and try to introduce this now, it just seems like it's political suicide to me. And in the end, in about 2.5 years, it's going to play out. We have a Saturn Uranus conjunctions and squares going on. Saturn being the old status quo, Uranus being the new. We're creating. So this is literally going on in the astrology. And excuse me. Once we get to the end, the other side of this, you know, Saturn's going to even be restructured. It's not even going to be the same astrology. I mean, literally, it's going to.
Wow. Now, is this going to affect the 2024 election time? Is it, or are we over it before, or is it right after?
No, this midterm election is on.
No, not the midterm. Not the midterm. I mean the 2024.
Yes, because this midterm election is on a Scorpio lunar eclipse. I believe I'm right. Lunar, solar.
Okay.
Right.
Solar
so now, what does Scorpio do? Scorpio is digging it up. He's going to get to the bottom and find out the big why. Why is this? What is this? Where are we going?
Yeah.
And this is just one aspect that's going on throughout from that. Yeah, right. We can see from 2019 till now how much Pluto and Scorpio have had influence in this. But that, again, they're just one planet, one sign. You know, there's so many more things at play. But that 2024 election is going to be, I mean, it's going to be out of this world. And Uranus is like that. Uranus rules Aquarius. So we're going into the age of Aquarius, right? And Uranus is all about shocks, surprises. I mean, these are not all bad things, but these are all
surprising.
Yeah. Things that we won't even think about. Like, I bet you the people running will be so different than any of us
could ever imagine.
Right. It's really going to be. It's really going to be.
That's interesting. Cool. Yeah.
Wow. And it's going to be cool to watch it unfold because you're actually seeing a fight between the old guard and the new guard, right? But the new guard isn't even defined yet, you know, but the old guard hanging on for dear life, wanting to keep it the way it was. And if I could say anything the next 2.5 years, to always remember that. This is not going to...
The tower has to come down before it can be rebuilt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful way to put it because you do. And how do you want to rebuild that tower? You can do anything you can think of.
You can. Right? You can make it much more, lay more foundation. You can make the walls better. You can do all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
It is an exciting time for change, Kate. It is so ready. But we're going to see some god-awful things in the meantime. And this is why I like to have these conversations about, okay, so what do we do? Right. What do we do when we get thrown off our center? I was thrown off my center like everybody else last week. I would have never thought they would do it with the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Even though we knew, we hoped that wasn't going to happen. Yeah.
And then yesterday, what they do, take away EPA regulations. So they're trying. So they're trying their hardest. It's something to do with the EPA to make the regulations less strict than they've been. We're the only country that's well, besides China, I mean, a few other, you know, but it's just mind blowing how this group of people, and isn't that kind of odd? Mm-hmm. We have, what is it, 9 people that can change everything like that.
And they're not even representative of the people.
The people.
I think it's 30% of the people that they represent technically. That's what I was hearing, which would be the Republican base.
And okay, and we know who did that. Okay, now if he's, we got to think of that too, because something's going to come out of January 6th. He's going to be an illegitimate somehow. How do we make everything he did would be illegitimate?
Illegitimate. That's right. So those 3 Supreme Court justices, bye-bye. Yeah, which would be really nice. But
yeah, because everybody keeps harping on the fact that that's a lifelong
right appointment, right?
Appointment, right? But yeah. Is it really? If first of all, you lied to get there.
That's true. Yeah. And then we have Clarence Thomas, who's been on there forever and ever, and he has got really a lot of blood on his hands. Mm-hmm. So
does his wife. His wife.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay. This is.
Did you hear? His lawyer said they've gone through so much trauma because of the Supreme Court decisions, and the people saying that they wanted to murder them. That she can't testify because she's too stressed out. I'm thinking, I don't give a shit. That woman needs to come down. What really surprises me is that all these amendments to the Constitution, we have the first, the second, the third. If you're going to strip one, then you need to strip all, because that's not the real Constitution. So, loving versus whatever, which is interracial marriage, which is what Clarence Thomas is in, has to go. Mm-hmm. And, there's things that will or should affect him because he started this. You know what I mean? I don't want that to happen because it's ridiculous, of course.
Yeah.
But, if you're going to do one thing, it's like with the guns. And then it's very obvious guns are more important than children.
Mm-hmm. And women. And women.
Yeah, absolutely.
And see, this is exactly the old guard.
Right.
Fighting to the death, right? And the new guard going, and all of, I would venture to say 80 to 90% of people just want to live in peace and freedom, and you own your body, I own my body.
That's right. Leave me alone.
Yeah. But here we are.
Don't put your religion on me. What was it? Boebert said it's about time that religion ran the government, because they should be telling us what to do. The Christian church should tell us what to do. In like ding dong, do you know anything about history? Do you know anything about the Constitution?
She was allegedly a call girl, right? So
yeah, I know. So I want to ask you a question about July 4th. I think it was Kate, when I was talking to Kate, she was telling me that another astrologer, Victoria Skirbo, who has a channel, said that the planetary alignment on July 4th is going to be the same as it was on January 6th.
That was actually yesterday. I watched that video. She
okay.
That's actually today. I'm sorry. So it is where part of Mars, something that was from 2021. This is what I'm saying. Like, these are all going to get a hit again, right? All these points in time that have already happened, but now they're
happening again.
And it's the same thing. It's like that with astrology, because it does come around and it hits those points again, and it hits them again. And what it does is it's like shaking it loose, like shaking the tree, shaking the the apple
fruit to come down. Yeah.
So it's got a show. And on the 4th, they're actually going to fire off CERN, the particle hydrogen collider. I forget how to say it. CERN is a collider. It's in Switzerland, and where they blast particles to see how fast they can go. And a lot of people think that is, the work of the dark trying to open portals, whatever. But there's so many. Who knows what the heck's going on? It's been a long dark here. Yeah. As we can see by the repression of women, by children not being protected. I mean, there's something here that needs to change for sure. So, but it seems to want to stay and come in like, okay, so we have the Mars Saturn square was yesterday. Today it's Mars and Pluto, and it's the same energy, but in a different spot, right? At this from January 6th. And this again is going to go on, but again, at the end of the month, when we have Mars square Uranus, it's going to give us a different picture. It's, you know, we might go through this whole month thinking, wow, you know, what's going to happen with January 6th? What's going on here with Roe v. Wade? But once it goes by Uranus, Uranus is our, again, hi, Jenny, Starfish. Uranus is the new guard, the new way, right? So but it's got to shine the light on all the old stuff that doesn't work anymore to say, is this really
for us to see it clearly?
It's really what you want. Do you really want this? Now we have people in power that are trying to force our hand. You know, if a woman doesn't have a right to her body autonomy, that we have a problem. And that's not going to go away. That's not good. People are pissed. I mean, everywhere I look, everybody is up in arms and pissed, as they should be. You know, but this again is going to be astrologically, it's going to play out right in front of us, and it's going to be a slow, and it's going to I don't even think they're done yet. I think that there's going to be more.
No, they're not.
You know, and they're going to try, and they're going to keep trying to suppress the new age, the Aquarius age. They know.
I heard that since May, when that thing leaked, that there have been more vasectomies done in the United States than ever.
Really?
Yes. Because men, if you can't use birth control, and you know, women get pregnant very easily, of course, can get pregnant if there's like a one-night stand or whatever. These men don't want responsibility for that child. You know, before they would have said, oh yeah, get an abortion or whatever, but they knew something was coming and they don't want children.
No, because something big is coming. Something big is coming. And I don't want to put fear in here, but we're on here. I want to be really real with people. We're just starting to see what they're capable of. Now, what it's coming down and asking us, okay, the people, humanity, the population, the citizens, what are you capable of? When are you going to come in and say, no, this is unacceptable, no more? There's no, and think about this, Aley. We have the Pluto, United States first Pluto return has already went past the Declaration of Independence, and on the 18th of July it's when it's exact with the Constitution, right? And then that plays out for the next 2 years. So, and Pluto's with Eris, who's the goddess of discord, saying, this is not what you said it was going to be when Pluto was first here. For the people, by the people, land of the home, the free and the brave. You lied. So Pluto's Pluto's showing us everywhere the government lied to us and has not honored their part of the bargain. So Pluto comes through with Eris now, who is not going to put up, because she's basically like his wife or his sister. I can't remember which one. But and is saying no. So this is, and then as soon as he goes into Aquarius, that's when we see actual change. You know, but until then, we have to get strong and be tough in our grounded in our bodies, keep ourselves focused on our vicinity, keep our point of focus on, always know that no matter what they throw at us right now, the end result is going to be a restructured government that is for the people, literally.
It reminds me so much of the devil card that I that I did in my series that I was looking at, and it talks about why these things happen. Really, it doesn't say that that's what it's talking about, but it makes perfect sense. We as a collective are so easily influenced to do something bad because everyone's doing it. And I believe that was the January 6th people. But do you think that if we could the collective could change and shift, and everybody did something really good, if you got that paradigm shift that would spill over, that things can be so much different, so many different than what we're seeing right now.
It's bizarre to me. It's bizarre to me that these people would really come in and want to overthrow the government and not even think how that's going to affect them. That their rights would be taken away just as quick as ours. I don't know how they don't understand that or what's going on.
Well, and it's becoming a party. They used to be small government, low taxes, some other stuff. Now all of that has gone out the window. Now they're, wanting the government to run everything, and they want, it just makes no sense. But this is what they were in the beginning. The Republicans were like the Democrats. They would, my husband told me, and he studies all that crap. He says that Republicans used to be the renegades, and they used to be the liberals back in early part of the century. So fascinating.
And do you see how things always twist and flip? Yeah. What does that do to our society, though? It brings a lot of confusion in, so people don't even know, am I this? Am I that? What's going on? Where am I? What,
where do I stand?
Yeah. And who's really telling me the truth? Because so when they do legislation, right, in Congress, it is worded so it's so confusing. It doesn't make any sense, logical sense. So why do they do that? Why do they make things so hard to really understand what does that really mean? What's the heart of that? What's the truth of that? So I think when with Pluto going over the Constitution date, I believe we're going to see significant upgrades to the Constitution.
I hope so, because really, technically, women didn't have any rights, and neither did anybody but old white men or landowners. That was it.
Yeah, come on, that's got to be
stipulated. And things change. Things change every day, and these people that want to live in the past, it makes it difficult for those of us who are progressive, and the world's changed. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, but there's that mass confusion that's constantly on the external. Are you this? Are you that? The division is the big thing, right? So any sort of division, they make sure they throw it in our face, and there you are going, I don't know, I just want everybody to be happy. What does that, what is that?
Well, we live in a world of duality and choices and judgment as well. I mean, we even, what kind of ice cream do you like, and vanilla or chocolate? I mean, what kind of, what party are you in? What car do you drive? All those things. Do you drive an American car or a foreign car? Everything is duality all the time. And making those choices is something we're just used to doing all the time. We're wanting to live that way. We don't see a middle ground. We don't see a complete coming together.
Don't you think, though, Aley, that's kind of by design come through the media? Of course, that information gets leaked to the media, but they pump it through. Like Kate is asking here. She says she thought she saw a headline that the filibuster is being stopped for the abortion issue, or did I imagine that? And that's really how confusing it's got. I thought I heard that yesterday too. Something.
Well, remember they stopped the filibuster thing for the Amy Coney Barrett. Was it? No, it was Kavanaugh. One of those guys, the one that came in for that they stole from Obama.
Yeah,
they got rid of the 30, whatever it is, 98%, 75% or whatever. And that was just for that one thing. they were able to do that. But I don't know if they're going to be able to do that for the abortion issue. Although yesterday, Joe did say he's ready now for the filibuster. But we still got those 2 senators that are not going to go anywhere. We got Manchin and we got Sinema that said no. So unless we get somebody that's in the Republican Party, then we're screwed, you know?
Yeah, I heard Manchin was upset about the Roe v. Wade. But if it's the EPA thing, and I think that was given to him to appease him for the coal in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And these kind of games is what has to
I know.
stop.
They do. They're not representing the people. They're representing their own interests. That's all they're doing.
Money and power.
Yep.
And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Why people can't even afford to rent anywhere hardly now.
True.
And this is all, well, this is like going to be exposed hard in the next couple of years, you know. So with let me see what else we got. Hi, Andrea's here.
Hi, Andrea. Yeah, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Andrea's talking about
rather than promotion. Yeah. Do rather than words. I like that. Yeah. Do, but sometimes isn't it that though not to do but to be?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I.
Yeah.
You know.
Be. That's what, and that's another reason why we're here talking about this. And thank you, Aley, for coming on and being so gracious about,
of course.
About how to cope with things, because it is what you do. It is how you think. But what are you? What are you being? You know, and can you continue to be like I continue to be on this spiritual path, and I continue to work on myself every day, and hopefully find new solutions through talking to all of you, you know.
Right. Absolutely.
But getting stuck or bringing myself down into the mud, you know, I lived down there. I was angry. I hated it. I was before I woke up, I was angry. I couldn't stand this place. I could see how manipulative and disingenuous everything was in government, you know. So, but now I'm trying to be like, so we take our deep breaths, we ground, and we go to work on our level. Where, you know, a lot of people just work from an energetic viewpoint. A lot of people want to go out and they want to go to a protest. You know,
whatever it is that works for you.
Right.
I just pulled some cards out of this deck of character that I got the other day, which is a really totally different kind of deck, and I just want to show you what I got. The key is to tell everybody, be a stereo, you know, tell the truth about this. Look at this, the womb.
Oh, God, Aley.
Because tears are being shed. We got to get off the treadmill. I love this. And lasso the moon. Did you ever see It's a Wonderful Life when he says to her, I'm going to lasso the moon for you. I'm going to give you everything that you want. And this is amazing. I can't believe those. It's called the Deck of Character, and you have to order it from their website, but just put in the Deck of Character and you'll be able to see it. It's a pretty large group of cards, and they, you know, like we have a farmer and we have a watchdog, and we have lots of other cards in here. I just got it. Kelly told me about it. And it can be a game you can play. But I just pulled it, you know, because they're not tarot really, and they're not oracle really. They're just cards. But the key, I love that, is to let everybody know, be a stereo for this problem we're having, baby in a womb. Because tears are being shed. Get off the treadmill. You know, we can think we're going somewhere when we go out and take a walk, but we don't take a walk. We get on the treadmill. We don't get anywhere with that. We just keep going on the same, right? If you think about it.
Yeah.
And, you know, the moon and the lasso, it's almost like, you know, just like he said in It's a Wonderful Life, I'll lasso the moon if that's what you want. I'll do anything you want. And that was a man saying that.
Yeah. I love that. Oh my God, Aley. I mean, you could.
I know. I got the chills pulling it. So
I'm literally speechless. That was so cool.
Spot on, huh?
Wow.
Yeah.
And see, this is it though. We're all going to band together.
Right.
Women are banding together. We have so much support from the younger generation. We got so much support from a lot of the men. I would venture to say there's such a small percentage that really want this to go on. But it seems like that group has the power at the moment.
Right.
And it's going to seem like that. It's going to seem like that for maybe from now and maybe all the way for 2.5 years. It's going to be a battle of some,
So we have to hang together.
Yes.
We have to uplift each other.
Yes.
Hi, Juno and Janet. I'm glad you came by. Thank you. Yeah.
And look at all the corporations that are saying, we will pay for you.
I know. It's fabulous. Yeah. I knew Starbucks would do it because they're based out here. And, we're one of those sanctuary cities for almost everything out here in Seattle. So I knew they would, but there was a few of them on there that I was fairly surprised about, which made me happy. Really did. Yeah.
I mean, it's mind blowing. And then, I live in a military town, and one of my son's friends came over the other day, and it was the day after this happened. And I said, "Oh my God, what's the military going to do?" He goes, "No, the DOJ already said we will not do that. We were going to treat everyone like they've been treated and continue to give women and families the health care they deserve." So even
absolutely.
Excuse me, the DOJ is not even going to.
Well, and the federal employees, if you especially if you're in the military, then your base is located on federal land, not state land. And they're talking about putting some clinics on federal lands in other states that have it. But it's. I mean,
but do you see like how everyone comes out and they do? There's solutions. You don't, okay, there might be some states where this won't be allowed to happen for a little while.
Right.
But
well, Kentucky was one of those states that had the flip law that if the federal government did it, they no abortions. And yesterday, I think it was a judge said no because they tried to do it fast, and they said you can still do them here for now. So yeah, I've seen it.
Wait, now what did they try to do? They tried to say if the government said no.
Yeah, what happened was there are states out there that have this automatic sort of flip. It's supposed to take 30 days for it to flip. So if the federal government decided Roe v. Wade was overturned, then it would be from that date 30 days, and then it would flip into no abortions. But Kentucky tried to implement it immediately, and there are other ones that have done the same thing. And a judge in Kentucky said, not going to do it, not going to do it. So.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think there's going to be like, this is really, okay, so what is this doing, right? This is showing us who are with the new path, right? And who are hanging on to the old. And by the time I know I put that year, those 2.5, 3 years on there, but we're going to see a big, huge difference of who, because that's making a decision, right? That's making individuals or corporations are making decisions that are affecting all of us, a lot of us, right?
Yes. And a lot of people would say, well, what do you care? You're not going to get an abortion. You're an old lady and it doesn't matter. No. I know young people that may need one, and including my own children if they had that situation. So it just doesn't make sense that, and you and I have never lived when it wasn't, only when we were younger, but when it wasn't in effect. Yeah.
These are just crazy times, and they're just like, I mean, I know it's going to be beautiful at the end of this, but until then,
it's just waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, we got to hang in there and support each other. And energy, we do a lot of energy healing. We could send out energy.
Yes.
To make sure that,
yep.
I send out energy to all governments all the time. To expose the truth, speak the truth, for the people. Yep. I don't know. I just keep working at it. Oh, Janet P's at her mom's today. It's her cats. What happened?
Nothing happened with her cats. It's her cats that has today. Because when she comes on with us, remember on Zoom, she has a cat that usually sits in her lap, but she was at her house then. That's what she means. Yeah. Glad your mom's doing better. Her mom came home and is doing somewhat better. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And
awesome.
I don't know. Let me see what else we have here. We have so much coming up and so much going on. And the state, we watched each other's channels. We watched certain channels, especially like Marianne and stuff, while 5 was in office, and she's been spot on. She's not.
She has been. Yep.
Cat, do you watch Cash Peters?
I do. I haven't seen him in a while, but I love him. He's fabulous.
Yeah, he really is. And we can work with the energies too. There's a couple good videos. Pam Gregory and somebody else went into the
Braca. Is it Braca Goldsmith?
Well, yeah, but Pam Gregory did one on her own, and I'm trying to think who the other one was, but she highlighted the asteroids like Palsatine, Juno, and all that, and how significant they are in play right now with this astrology when this happened during Roe v. Wade. So her last video, and I'm trying to think who the other one was really good. I'll send them to you if I find them. I sent you. You saw that one on Facebook where he was one astrologer, and he was telling you about Trump and Putin and Maxwell, and how, on that day, that energy, Maxwell got 20 years, Putin's not probably going to be here much longer. It's just crazy. But in all reality, every day we are the gatekeepers to our reality. Right. So
we have to keep ourselves informed as well, like you say, by looking at what other people are saying and sort of culling what the information is and seeing what really resonates for us, which is very important to be doing, discerning and resonating with something. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not saying at all, put your head in the sand.
Oh, no,
but I would never do that. But because I watch it, and I watch it, I'll give myself like a few minutes a day to catch up. And then if it's something big, of course, you got to go investigate. But and then, but as soon as I do that, because this is what keeps me grounded and helps me, I'll go look at the astrology for this time. I brought the astrology chart up for Roe v. Wade in 1973, and I put that chart on top of it. And it's very telling, that's not going to stay the law of the land, but it's going to evolve. Again, Uranus is involved, and Uranus is going to evolve it into something that it does not matter. Body autonomy is body autonomy. What you do with your body is your business, so it was really fascinating to see.
Yeah, I bet it was. Gosh, I remember. When was it that Roe v. Wade was put into effect? What month? Do you know?
It was February. No,
it was February.
I believe it was February 1973. I have where's the chart? I had all the charts around me, and I was like, I won't need the charts, and I put them all.
Oh no, well, it's okay. In 1973 was the year I graduated high school. And I went to college in the fall. That's why. And there were a lot of girls that had gotten an abortion around that time that I knew of. I don't remember it. When you're in high school, at least then, the news would come on, but I wasn't always listening to the news. And you didn't have it in your face like you do now. where it's everywhere you go, you hear something. But I wondered, and it really was. I always thought it was interesting because in that same year they dropped the drinking age down to 18.
Yes.
And then it went back up again later, after I was 21. It's like they had all these laws just for me.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, I think what happened is when they dropped the drinking age, they saw how much pregnancy spiked. And let's face it.
And car accidents, yes.
But there's not much in terms of birth control that is really healthy for a female. They make you sick. Right. They ruined a lot of my problems. Yeah. I had a lot of problems because of birth control. Now, there's the IUD and all this stuff.
So that came out right then too, didn't it? It came out like in the early 70s. It was like, wow, birth control. But yes, we were all really like mice in an experiment because none of us knew.
I mean, think about it, and every single one of them made me say, "Hi, Sharon."
Yeah. Hi, Sharon. It's good to see you.
And they can prevent you from getting pregnant. They can, mess things up so bad.
They can mess things up bad. You're right.
It's like, okay, so I've been saying this for a few years. Everybody was, I don't even know when it came up for me, but it was like, okay, why, one male can get everybody he sleeps with in one day pregnant. Say he sleeps with women, right? A female can only get pregnant for 10 months, once in 10 months. So why hasn't it ever been, we do reversible vasectomies. Why not do all preteen boys? Because that's the most dangerous group. Okay, now
there are yes. Yeah, and hormones are unreal.
I mean, non-invasive. It doesn't hurt. It can be reversed.
Right.
Okay. Why aren't we thinking along those terms? Like for real?
Well, what they're not doing though is my daughter is 40, almost 45 years old. She never has wanted children. She has a really bad time every month. And she asked, could she, get her tubes tied or get whatever. No. They don't allow it anymore. They used to allow it if you had a really compelling reason, but now they don't because the people get sued.
They told me 5 different doctors refused me. So how can that be? How can that be in the same breath? Like you can't have. And then I hear, I don't know if they're going to go after contraception and things like that. But imagine if they do, if they push it that far, and then you can't get. I mean, there's a lot of herbs. There's other things we can do as women that we've done for over the thousands of years.
Black cohosh. Yes.
Yeah, but why do we have to?
Why do we have to go backwards?
Absolutely. Right. What is going on here? And it's gonna get ridiculous, But what I want everyone here to know, to stay in your center. You have Aley's channel. We all have channels. We all have support to talk to each other. Keep your point of focus on the highest vibration, because we create it by how we think it. We see a world that is fair and everybody has freedom. It has to come to pass because this is creation energy. And what we intend to it creates. And they know that too, though. And they use the astrology too, though. So
They do.
We have 2 forces. We're ascending. And we all know this. We know this. We're ascending. Most of us are very spiritual, and they don't want us to wake up. They don't want us to. They want to keep pulling us back down into the muck. Did you pull cards again? Oh my God!
You want me to?
I pulled a card for everybody. This is Sage Goddess deck. It's personal frequency. All frequencies in the universe must align to yours in order to be in relationship to you. Focus your attention and intention on your personal frequency, envisioning it like a light cosmic balloon floating effortlessly higher. allowing the universal forces of love to lift you upon their wings. Instantly, you will call love and effortless ease into your life, creating an even stronger flow of beauty and truth. And that's really what we got to focus on.
We do. We
Got
do.
to stay focused on this.
Yeah. And I got Solitude.
Oh.
And this woman is opening, has a book that's open. I'm seeing like a tower in the back, but I'm thinking it looks more like a chess piece.
Yeah.
I don't know. And of course they do that, but I'm feeling as though in our solitude is when we can focus the most. And that we have in front of us the information that we need. We just have to keep reminding ourselves to open the book. And if we forget, reread the information, because it's all accessible to every single one of us here. Absolutely.
It really is. And it's so easy to forget. When I get thrown off my center, I forget everything I've learned until, a few minutes go by, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I have the tools to pull myself back out. I have I know and the thing is when we intend something, yes, we can say it, we can write it and all that, but it's the feeling behind our intention that brings it to fruition. So if you're feeling, or because I did this most of my life, I was stuck in fear and, didn't know what to do. And I just kept creating the same misery, and I kept, until I learned that I was the
one.
one.
You wonder why does this keep happening? Because you haven't learned the lesson yet.
Right. And your fear is there to tell you this doesn't feel good. Let's do something about it and change it, right? But I would hold on to it thinking, okay, if I hold on to it tight enough, it'll get me through. And it was I didn't know, so until I learned, yeah. So until I learned how to deal with that fear and understand, okay, so if I choose to feel good and make whatever, my intention is to feel good, right? To clear my health. And I did that. And I literally did it. And I proved it to myself that it's possible. We can create anything we want. But when you're talking it or writing it, you've got to put the feeling into it too. But you want those good feelings in there. Not the scary stuff, that's trying as hard as to get into us.
But we did talk a little bit about the fact that it's okay for us to be angry sometimes. It's okay for us to be disappointed. But we just need to recognize that that's what we're going through and then move through it. Don't linger in it. But I always remember that if I've been told in the past, what's wrong with you? You're not like your normal self or whatever, because if I get upset about something, and and I'm like, no, everybody has this in them and it's okay. It's okay. It isn't where I live. No. It's where I'm visiting and I'm going to move on. It's a little vacation. Yeah.
That's a beautiful way to look at. That's not where I live. I'm just visiting. And that's the truth. My son was driving last night home from dinner, and I'm in the back. You can't see anything in the back. I was looking at my phone, and he swerved to not hit an animal. And I mean, I was like, it scared the hell out of me. I got mad. I swore. I screamed, and he's like, Mom, I'm just trying not to hit an animal. You're okay. And I'm like, you know what it feels like, though. And I felt so bad. I was like, oh, my God.
I know.
I didn't mean to do that.
It was a shock to you. And that was your reaction. Yeah.
And isn't that how we do that, though? When a shock comes at us, we're like, what the fuck? That's what I did a lot last week. And then I had to keep coming back to it and
coming back to your center.
Yeah. Yep. And checking the astrology, because that soothes me, because I know from past astrology, these things have happened. Astrologers aren't going to come here and say, oh, they're not going to lie to us, so you see that. And it just immediately calmed me down, because I'm like, no, this is not the end. This is one page of the story that they're trying to feed us,
Yeah. Just like one of the worst years of our life, and all of us have gone through at least one of those that really things weren't great, but they weren't 40 years or 50 years, or they were 1 year. It was 1 year. It was, and what did you learn from it? Oh my God. Well, if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't have had this, or I wouldn't be there, or whatever it is. You just don't know it when you're going through it. You have no idea. You just think it's a conspiracy.
That is true. That is so true, Aley, because I can say that about most of my life. I would have never. I'm so grateful. I say this all the time. I'm so grateful for every moment of my existence, because I wouldn't have got to where I am now. I was not a happy person. Okay, I'll just say 10 years ago, but to get to this point,
look where you are now.
Yeah, I would have never known that. I would have, without going through all the crap I went through to get here. And you know, like with Zoe, we were talking about Zoe earlier. You know, I tell her those things. You know, it's like, Zoe, you know, and she's younger, but she's so wise, and they are wise, and they don't want to have restrictions. You know. Andrea's asking, let's see, I'm wondering, we're all spiritually based because we are souls. Maybe a shift might be coming. Let's see what it says up here. More spiritually aware might better describe our circumstances.
More spiritually. So if people don't understand the idea of the ascension and the fifth 5D and all that, what you can say is that we are souls on a journey, and we are working to be more spiritually aware. And then she says, the increasing vibration raises our awareness. It opens the door for change in our own lower vibration action. Yes, absolutely. And I've seen it. I just, like I said earlier, I saw it when my roof went at Kafui, you know, and it's not the way I usually handle things. And I'm glad I handled it that way, because it really changed a lot of the way that I did things.
Yeah. And I mean, it does. It takes one thing to make you go, oh, wow, you know, and then when you see that you handle it differently, or you feel through it differently, right, and you get a different result, and you know it worked. And you're never going back.
And then I have to go back to that again. Yes, because struggles and problems never go away. We just have different iterations of them. Not that they have to be all bad, but Kate, you're right. Making room. It's the tower again. Making room for the new wisdom. Ask us to read all that no longer serves. And that tower comes down. And then we get to figure out how we want to rebuild it. And so, yes.
And that's what we're doing. We're all here to we're light workers, love workers, heart centered.
Rebuilding our DNA.
Not only, and we're rebuilding our DNA, we're rebuilding our environment. We all know this is a life affirming, life sustaining way to live. All the money and power and the greed have taken over every aspect of our lives, and that's got to change. It's got to change so we can all be free and live in harmony, live in peace. You know, I'm not saying that we're not going to pay things, but I'm saying it's not going to be the abusive structure.
And we have to stop lying to ourselves about ourselves, because what we see is other people lying, and it's not appropriate. We don't need to be thinking to ourselves. So in other words, lying to ourselves about something, saying to ourselves we're not good enough, or whatever it is that we're saying to ourselves, is bringing more lying in. And it's just an idea. So when you're thinking something like that, oh, I'm so stupid, or what, it happens, you know. Or, you know, I'll say something and I'll say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just an old lady, what do I know? And I shouldn't say that. I should not say that.
You're right. You're right. I made a rule the other day. There was the Scarlett is the little girl that lives here. She's 12, and her friend was here, and they were just talking terrible about themselves. And her mom and I were standing there, and I'm like, look, making a rule. We don't talk about ourselves like that. We love ourselves, and it's best you learn it at 12 right now, because
which we did.
I
did. Yes.
But it really shocked me that they were being really hard on themselves.
Yep, they were. And Juno says the temple in Japan. I love that. And you also can say, and you're the big mandala person, Juno, is that when a Buddhist makes a mandala out of sand, they don't, the only thing they do is they eventually sweep it away because it's temporary. It's not permanent. Yeah.
Juno has the wisdom. I love Juno. It's like she has information on everything. So cool. And her channel is doing real well. Juno's channel.
Good. Knew it would.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes, it's necessary. It represents, and that's what it represents. Exactly what Aley said.
Yep. That's awesome.
Thank you, ladies. Does anyone have any questions? Or I know everyone here is pretty much got their vibe going and know that we're here for each other. Please know that.
And we are all magnificent beings. That's right, Kate. We are all magnificent, truly beautiful, and wise, and full of love. So that's great.
Wisdom Seeker Jen and I did it. I know I gotta check it out. That's gonna be so cool,
That's good, Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, ladies.
Oh, of course.
Who's Tony? Tony, hi, ladies. Young girls are influenced social media and all the shows on Netflix, etc., which we did not
have that. You're right.
Yeah. Exactly. We didn't have that, but I still hate. I didn't respect myself when I was young, or didn't think.
No, we tended not to. We listened to the tapes in our heads from other kids and society, and you're not thin enough, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough. They were subtle, maybe more subtle at the time, but they were there, and we believed them. We believe what we heard.
I can imagine how awful it's got to be to live under these social media constructs.
Yeah, scrutiny. Yeah.
Our little girl here, she's not allowed on TikTok, and she can only go on certain things on YouTube. But I mean, but why school at home? You learn. I mean, learn to love yourself. Teach love, self-love, and acceptance. Instead of having to figure it out at 50, like I did.
Amen to that. Amen.
No, I'm supposed to love myself.
Yeah.
All right.
You just have to catch up, Valerie. That's all. Thank you for having me, and thanks everybody in the chat, and for your wisdom as well in the chat, because you guys always bring it in too.
Yes, they do. They're so smart. Love you all. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.